part 10 of the Minecraft challenge. Yep, today is part 10. Now, every single time, if it has a 0 on it, it's like 10, 20, 30, and so on, I will make this live a bit longer. So I think it's day 58. Yeah. Oh, never mind. It's day 50. It's day 59 now. Well, during that time, I only mined only three blocks. 3 blocks. It's maybe because I don't have a great pickaxe, because I've run out of iron. So I need to find more. Okay, so far there's no one active. No one watching my stream. Okay, so I think when I update to the next one, I think it's going to remove the feature where if you press F4, it generates a nether. I'm in the nether portal. So I'm going to make it as a secret. Okay, wait, why do I hear nether portal sounds even though I just straight up covered it with dirt and sand? Yeah, every single time you press the F4 button, you generated a nether portal. Like, how is this even possible? Ooh, I have some time. You meant, what's some time? Well, signs. Well, I'm gonna tell ya. Signs. Okay, I need to pull up the curtains because it's too bright. Okay, next live I'm going to do part number 2 of the Super Lost Media Generator Plus, since I created it recently. It's only a few days old. So, yeah. Would you look at that? No mobs are spawning there. Here's this island. Let's make it like a door. Nice. I can't see, so... Yeah, there's yawn and even hyper speed. I'll add... this, so no ever... so I can get off. And some... let's make with these 10 sticks. Oh great, I don't have wood. Oh well. Yeah, you know what it's time. Axe time. Let's mine wood up until my axe breaks. One last axe. Well, that's a lot of wood. Wait, I don't have dirt. So let's remove some. Stop flowing me water. I'll make some room. Okay, just like every single time, I'm going to make you watch videos. Wait, give it a little moment. Yeah. There's no BFDIA 24 yet, but let's ignore that. So, you want to watch Minecraft? Some Minecraft videos. Ball. You got this under view for saying ball?
Does TNT explode through a portal? Can a villager get a job from the other side? And these are all the craziest myths answered about the portal gun mod. Starting with, will dripstone fall through a portal? We got our pointed dripstone, and then that right there. Let me build this out a little bit. Try that. Does it drop our dripstone bullets? Where was this leading to? Okay.
Oh God, sorry. I'm trying to see where it was leading to. Try again.
The least opportune time to jump through. Now lock. They all break on the surface. That stinks. Alright, myth busted. My next one that I wanted to test is, does a loyalty trident come back through the portal? Let me enchant with loyalty 3. So if I throw my trident through.
Oh, wait.
It came back through. I got it.
Wait, do it again. Do it again. Why? It worked.
It did work.
What?
It's coming back to me.
Confirmed.
Myth confirmed.
Arrows go through. Correct. Wait.
Do they not?
Oh. Nope.
Oh, awesome. What if I'm
gonna
on
make this
the
a little
other
bit-
side and I'm just staring at you? I can pick up your arrows through it.
Oh, wait. If I do like this. Hold on. You.
Not.
Nope.
I have to step through to grab it.
There you go.
Whoa. If I throw it, it like goes off to the side.
Oh, I wonder if it's like teleporting to the other.
Oh, there you go. Now it's in the pond of Noobster.
What the?
It like collides outside of the block. Okay, so you can't pass
it
items.
bounces around a little. Kind
So
of.
I guess that myth's confirmed.
If I like snowball, is that?
Yeah, let's try a snowball. It goes a little bit. Try eggs.
Eggs. Oh, that's right. Could it hatch on it?
It's a bird.
Well,
now.
some of the chicken snake is through. Yeah. Anyway, this is not really.
That doesn't really work. Next myth that I wanted to try is, does Ender Pearl throw through? Does it teleport you to the block that it hits, or to the other location?
Oh.
So we try it with this. Ah, just on the block.
Yeah. These that hit the block mostly seem good. Wait. Okay,
Yeah, it
Mostly
discombobulates you, but you just hit the face. Okay, so that's myth busted. Can you pour water into a portal mouth, then water appear on the other side? So does water flow through?
Oh, gotcha. Well, here, if you want to try and make an infinite waterfall.
I'll get my bucket and then plant the waterfall in mid-air. No, but it does look really trippy. Look up through that.
Oh, God.
It's like pouring on the face of the mirror.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, unfortunately. Wait, can I, like, try to swim in this?
Oh, could you swim through it?
Yeah, sure enough.
Hey, there you go.
I can swim upwards forever.
Alright.
A little strange,
That's my least favorite screensaver. Like, your name goes through separately from you, so it looks like there's always a fail mode entity.
Oh!
Like, look at the
Oh,
outside.
what?
See the skip the tutorial linger. My name died twice. Once it's when your heart starts beating, and the other is when no one says your name. Myth busted. For whatever that's worth.
Myth busted.
There's a boat sliding on ice to a...
From secret tunnels to item vortexes, you're 400.
Yeah, there's different voices. I have no
It's the
idea.
smallest mob. I used to think it was the baby chicken or even the pufferfish, which is only 0.35 blocks big, but they're both not even close. The second smallest mob is the baby turtle at 0.12 blocks, and the first smallest mob is the tadpole at 0.08 blocks. When items get stuck in the ground, they float to the top. Using this mechanic, we can actually create an item cube. Just point the dispenser up and place a pillar of glass blocks. Any dispensed item will travel up the glass like a working cube. Dispensers can be used to dispense armor directly onto yourself, but something lesser known is that this works with horses as well. Just point dispensers at a horse and you can equip saddles and horse armor. Talk about a quick wardrobe change. Some skeletons can naturally pick up swords in the Bedrock edition and they swing it super fast. You stole my sword! Okay, you can just keep it. You can create a working mirror. Sort of. Just place pigs on some stained glass, and then on the other side, you can place the pigs on top of barriers and name them Dinnerbone. This will create an illusion of a mirror. You may know that sponges dry out in the nether, but it actually happens in another biome. In Bedrock Edition, wet sponges placed in a dry biome like the desert will dry out after a few minutes. Just another reason you should never use furnaces to dry them. Crossbows take forever to reload, but if you constantly give yourself a fully loaded crossbow, you can rapidly fire them like a machine gun. Get back, monsters! Particles are beautiful, but you can make them way prettier. You can spawn all kinds of particles like lava droplets, crying obsidian, or even block markers. My favorite is summoning a lot of cherry leaves because they'll form a pretty looking cave. How do you make a sand wave? You can do this by creating a large area of bubble columns and then stacking up sand blocks in a similar diagonal pattern, just like on top of signs. Once you break the bottom block, all the sand will fall in a bouncing way. It's like a sand hot tub. Before version 1.15, you could use the Silk Touch book to find things, and it'll actually work, saving you tool durability. This could also be done with a fire aspect book to light mobs on fire. If you set a ton of sculpt sensors and iron trapdoors on top, you can create a beautiful wave. Throwing a single snowball down will create a ring of trapdoors, opening and closing. When the trapdoors close, they create sound, reactivating the starting sculpt sensors and creating an infinite loop. We end up getting these crazy patterns. Villagers can actually wear armor if you use a dispenser. Doing so will let you put thorns on a villager or even a pumpkin. However, if the villager turns into a zombie, it disappears in Java Edition. No, my pumpkin! What would touching the creeper feel like? Well, Notch, the original creator, said that a creeper in real life would feel crunchy, like dry leaves. Ew. This is a quintuple pig spawner. It's one of the rarest glitches to occur. The glitch happens on the seed on version 1.16. The easiest way to make a wave machine is just by using a few powered rails and mine carts. It's already pretty satisfying, but you can level it up by extending it many layers. You'll get a much better wave. If you activated a nether reactor core in Minecraft Pocket Edition, the blocks around it would turn to glowing obsidian. What's pretty cool is that you could actually mine it in the state, and you can keep the glowing obsidian. I wish this still existed. What would a shulker look like without its shell? Just throw a potion of invisibility to see. Okay, I see why you hide your face now. Don't break this block. Well, unless you want to be extremely satisfied. These amethyst blocks will instantly regenerate. With an efficiency 10 pickaxe, you can break them very quickly. Steve's hands used to be extremely useful. Before shears were introduced, you could obtain gold by just punching sheep. It's like his hands had scissors on them. TNT could also be lit by punching it, and the explosion can be cancelled by punching it again. Minecraft used to use item IDs, so if you wanted to give yourself a certain item with commands, you'd have to memorize the numbers of all the items which were obtained. However, there was one upside during this time. You could actually get some illegal items like the lit lamp, glowing furnace, water block, or even just lava. Save your rotten flesh. Rotten flesh is almost completely useless because it gives you poison when you eat it up, but if you feed it to your dogs, they'll be perfectly fine and heal up. What's the best way to fish? It actually depends. If you're looking to get primarily fish, you should fish in shallow areas because you get less treasure and more fish. However, if you want more treasure, you should fish in deeper water so your bobber is surrounded by at least a 5x5x4 area of water. Some blocks, like bamboo, will completely collapse if you punch the bottom block. So if you make a really tall one and break the stem, the entire tower will collapse. This can be done with other blocks too, like cacti, sugar cane, and my personal favorite, dripstone. Ah, so satisfying. There's a way to have looting bows in survival. It's impossible to put looting on your bow normally, but if you hold a looting sword in your main hand and bow in offhand, the looting effect will apply. What's crazier is that the looting glitch also works with snowballs, so you can get extra blaze rods in the nether. In Minecraft in-depth, before crafting tables were added, how did players craft? Well, you could actually just press the B key to bring up the crafting grid. That's cheating! This giant pillar of dripstone can break in seconds. If I activate this observer, all the dripstone will gradually break all the way up into the sky. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. You probably know that to make snow golems and iron golems, you need a carved pumpkin, but another secret block actually works. You may think it's the normal pumpkin, but that surprisingly doesn't work. The other block that works is the jack-o'-lantern. You may know that dispensers can place pumpkins to spawn golems or even skulls to spawn withers, but they could place another secret block. Up to version 1.8.5, dispensers could place command blocks. When you finish a raid, you'll get the hero of the village effect for killing all the pillagers. But Minecraft lets you do something else. You can slash effect the villagers around you to have the hero of the village effect. There's a way to equip 127 diamond helmets. If you try to give yourself more than 64 of one item, it'll spread out in your inventory. However, you can actually summon an armor stand holding over 64 items with this command, and you can take the items from it. If you try to put on all the diamond helmets, it won't work. But you have to instead right-click the armor in your hotbar. This also works with other equipment like the chest plate and leggings. I'm undefeatable! This is the most inefficient staircase ever. It takes 18 blocks to go up just one block. And although it's not very practical, I think it looks pretty cool. Minecarts float on bubble beams, and you can create some pretty cool contraptions with this feature. If you send a minecart going at fast enough speed, it'll bounce across the water and then back onto rails. Beacon pyramids can be made out of any mineral blocks, whether it be gold, iron, diamonds, but the combinations can also be mixed. So the pyramid is made up of different ores. This way, you can fake a netherite beacon by just coating the outer layer. The chiseled stone brick is actually not centered. You can see the visual difference by placing a torch on top. I can't unsee this. This is a shield spear. It was created by McMackenstein and protects you by surrounding you with shields. When mobs come and try to attack you, the swords are spiked outwards, not letting any of them get you. This crossbow makes it rain TNT. The arrows will rain bombs like a beautiful rainbow, and it looks gorgeous. I like to destroy massive amounts of dripstone using it, or even use it to kill a ton of cats. If a silverfish has poison, it'll cause another nearby silverfish to break out. So if you create a huge area of infested blocks and throw poison and a few silverfish on top, instantly the bugs will all crawl out and the huge heap of silverfish blocks disappears in seconds.
Would you look at that? It's day 60.
So if you stack a bunch of them on top of each other, you get this beautiful beam of light. When you kill a strider, it for some reason drops string. But there's actually a really good reason for this. They drop string to explain how piglings crafted their crossbows. When creating a new world, sand sometimes generates floating in the air. But if you break a single one, all the connected sand blocks will update and come crashing down. It's especially satisfying when the sand is connected to large sections. Have you heard of the chopping enchantment? It was once considered the worst enchantment. You could put it on an axe and it didn't do anything different. Later though, the chopping enchantment was renamed to cleaving and makes the axe do more damage and disables shields for longer. This enchantment is found in the combat test snapshots. Baby mobs in Minecraft are normally friendly and don't do damage, but not baby polar bears. They're still ferocious and try to kill foxes in Java Edition. I wonder if it'll attack me. Whoops. This barren wasteland has no light, but if you place a single grass block, it'll gradually spread across the entire world. But to make it extra satisfying, you can also place a mycelium on one half and grass on the other half. The two blocks will have an epic grass versus mycelium war. Did you know the Wither and Ender Dragon have names? The Wither boss in Minecraft is officially named Simmons, and the Ender Dragon is named Sheen by the developers. Obsidian normally takes forever to mine, but not with Haste 255. You can shred through hundreds of obsidian blocks. It's also satisfying to mine a bunch of ore and then collect the items afterwards. Silverfish used to be allergic to soul sand. In versions before 1.15, the silverfish's hitbox was a bit too low and would suffocate in slightly smaller soul sand blocks. But something even more satisfying is this automatic cobblestone farm. Cobblestone will continuously form and get pushed by piston. Once it enters the blast radius, a TNT will explode the cobblestone, which will then flow down to the collection system. The machine will run forever and generate infinite cobblestone. Silverfish love to be annoying, so I trapped a ton of them in this obsidian box, and pressing this button will explode them all. These pests are the worst. Save your old bows. If your bows are running low on durability, don't throw them out. Instead, use them to craft dispensers, because you can use any durability bow for them. This mod makes water super realistic. Placing sand on top of water will push it out. Infinite water sources don't exist. Dispensers will only shoot a drop of water out. If I blow a hole in this dam, water will start gushing in and flood the area. Eventually, the water level outside the dam and inside side will level out. Sorry for ruining your homes. Saddle pigs are pretty slow, but right-clicking the carrot on stick actually makes the pigs speed up. What's even more surprising is that the heavy pigs can actually climb a ladder. They've got some pretty strong legs. By throwing a snowball at a group of wardens, they'll all huddle towards the sound and form a circle with their antennas, heading up in a ripple pattern. I think they may be getting annoyed. Stop jumping on my crops! You probably know that jumping on crops destroys them, but it used to be so much worse. In beta versions of Minecraft, just walking on crops would break them. However, if you placed fences beneath the soil, the crops would be immune from trampling. There's a way to become invincible in survival. Blocking with a shield while entering a nether portal makes the shield continue to be held out even once you exit the portal. This allows you to both swing your sword at the same time as having your shield held up. You can get snowy grass as an item. Most people think it only exists as a block, but that's not true. To get it, travel to the infinite dimension snapshot, write in a book, Skygrid, and locate the snowy grass block. Once you find it, transfer your world to the one block at a time update and put the block in your head. You can now update your world and you'll have the actual item. There are 4 enchantments you can put on the fishing rod, but how about the carrot on stick? When you try to enchant the carrot on stick in an enchanting table, nothing will happen. But on version 1.8.2 pre-6, there was a glitch where you could just combine an enchanted fishing rod with a carrot and the enchantment.
I'll get ya, moderator. How can you block it? I don't get any time out here.
Stick out from both sides. You can see this best when you put the item frame on a slab or fence. If you get 3 stacks of bottles and put them single file one by one into a brewing stand like this, you can click on the first, second, and third stack to get 190 items in survival mode. Unfortunately, the game doesn't let you store the 190 bottles in your inventory, so it's mostly just a fun trick. But if you drop the item on the ground, a mob that can pick up items can actually pick it up. Minecraft's menu screen can have all sorts of cool splash tags. However, all references mentioning Notch, the creator of the game, were removed, like made by Notch. If you're feeling a little cold, this will warm you up. Just slap a bed down inside a pool of lava and you won't take any damage. And while being warmed up, just make sure you get out quickly. Ouch! If you put
No swearing.
on a horse, you can still ride it. The horse will be freestyling on its back somehow. This also works with saddle pigs. If you look at the bottom of a shulker shell, you'll see a unique spiraling pattern. But what's stranger is that a similar spiraling pattern is found on the bottom of ancient debris. Maybe that's why the shulker shell is so dumb. Gas fireballs deal the most damage in the game. When you hit a fireball back at the gas, it'll deal 500 hearts of damage to it. This is because Mojang wanted the gas to instantly die if the player successfully rebounded the fireball. Minecraft's recipe book has a secret Easter egg. If you search Excited ZE in the recipe book, it changes the game's language to pirate language. How do I change this back now?
Lingo.
Minecraft blocks actually tell a story. Some chiseled stone bricks have mobs engraved into them, like the Warden, Reaper, Wither, Skeleton, and Hogling. In beta Minecraft, Enderman used to drop
It's in beta, not beta.
I got those. Look at this error block. It happens in Java Edition when a texture is missing. Fun fact, the black and purple textures are that way because they're so eye-catching and let developers know something is wrong. You can make an item whirlpool. First break 4 blocks in the middle and then break 7 blocks out on each side. So you get something like this. When we place water in the middle, it'll create a mini whirlpool. Just throw in items and they'll start twirling in circles. How many striders can stack on top of each other? When striders were first added in the 1.16 snapshot, there was no limit to how many striders could spawn stacked. This made it so you could find even quintuplet striders. When you put a lead on the bottom one and got on the very top one, it'd cause you to start flying upwards. Unfortunately, this is no longer possible because striders can now only spawn in stacks of 2. This sword is illegal. Although it just looks like a normal golden sword, if you take a look at the enchantments, you'll see they're stacked super long. With a bunch of duplicates, the item is impossible to get in the latest version. But on this version, piglings had a chance to spawn with these insanely powerful swords. Beacons don't work if they have blocks in the way. So it should work in the nether, right? Not exactly, because Mojang wanted it to work in this fiery dimension. So the beacon beams can actually shoot through bedrock. Super weapons were created on the server in 2B2T. There are overpowered weapons consisting of level 32,000 enchantments. These weapons are extremely powerful, being able to knock back players into unloaded chunks, have armor that'll make you invincible, and sharpness that'll instantly kill whatever you touch. One of the least known Minecraft versions is the Pi Edition. It was made to run on small computers like the Raspberry Pi, but it had a special feature. Quartz blocks were added to this version before they were officially added to Java. By naming a villager Dinnerbone, you can flip it upside down. The villager can then be placed on top of a barrier block or iron bar, making it look like it's hung upside down by chains. Once it turns night, a horde of zombies will spawn and the villager will be terrified. The villager won't know the zombies can't reach them. To make sure no mobs act, you can build a hostile mob switch. The contraptions overflow the world with hostile mobs and make it so no one can spawn. If you have a railway system leading underground, you can easily trap it with a detector rail and a piston sending you falling. Bubble columns are one of the best ways to travel quickly upwards, but you can also create one of the deadliest traps with them. Just spam a bunch of harming potions at the top of the bubble column and then block it off with obsidian. And whoever has to swim up next will be a goner. Vertical slabs are in Minecraft. By placing redstone blocks on either side of a stone wall and TNT on those blocks, the wall will stretch to look like a vertical slab. Although not too practical, it's still pretty cool. Everyone knows fire burns forever on netherrack, but there are 4 other blocks this happens on. The first 2 you probably know are soul sand and soul soil, which create an eternal blue flame. The third block with infinite fire is actually magma blocks. And the last one that is a bit more unknown is the bedrock with crystals at the end. Everyone knows that you should never hit a zombie piglin or all the rest to charge at you. But if you kill it in one swing, all the piglins won't know what happened and stay peaceful. Obsidian takes forever to mine, with even a diamond pick. But how long does it take with a fist? One obsidian takes 250 seconds to mine by hand, but if there is an Elder Guardian nearby, it'll take about 25.7 hours. Darn it, let me out of here. The bubble column block is one of the most useful things for traveling upwards, but you used to be able to get the item. On Bedrock version 1.20.31, all you had to do was place a soul sand water block on top and lantern. If you break the lantern in the water and pull down your pickaxe, you'll be able to get the water column item. This happened because of a mining progress transfer glitch. If you don't have a flint and steel and need to light a campfire, you're in luck. In Bedrock Edition, by putting yourself on fire and walking over a campfire, it'll light it up. Ouch. What if you could enchant any item? Well, on Snapshot 12W49A, there was a bug that let you. It could be done with anything from blaze rods to even dirt blocks. This dirt block is super powerful. Are you as tired of water freezing in cold biomes? You can try placing light sources like torches or glowstones, but they're ugly. Instead, you can use a water law slab that'll never freeze. But it gets even better. Kelp can also be put inside water, and it also will no longer turn into ice. You may know that potions can be stored in cauldrons on the Bedrock Edition, but something few people know is that the cauldrons will save the potion state. You can put throwable lingering potions inside it, and if you pick it back up from the cauldron, it'll still be lingering. If you want to torture a slime, simply lock it in a cube of slime blocks. Slimes aren't able to jump on top of slime blocks, so they'll be forever stuck. It's a bit cruel because they're jumping on dead slimes, but you can just trap magma.
Hello.
You can fall from a million blocks in the sky, and if you land in a single pixel of water, you'll be fine. But it wasn't always like this. Before update 1.4, jumping into shallow water would cause death. If you wanted to survive or fall, you'd have to land into deeper water. That could catch your fall. I'm glad this was changed because water bucket clutching wouldn't exist. Before the aquatic update in 1.13, any items that you threw into the water would all float down to the bottom of the ocean floor. But nowadays, they all float up to the surface and bob in place. It's really helpful because oceans used to be so much darker. So if you lost your stuff down there, it was pretty much gone for good. This is a creeper converter. When lightning strikes a creeper, it turns into a charged one. So if you build a chamber like this with a lightning rod in the middle, just throw a channeling trident at this lightning rod and it'll light up all the creepers. And if you throw the trident again, it'll kill them all. This is evil. Separate 2 animals with a wall, and when you breed them, it'll actually work. Too bad the animals can't see each other though. This armor set was deleted. Studded armor was supposed to be in between leather and chain armor. It kinda looks like clay armor and could be crafted using iron and leather. Unfortunately, there wasn't a good reason for it to exist, so it was deleted. Redstone can be surprisingly satisfying. This is a minecart wave machine. It uses slime blocks and repeaters to bounce up minecarts in a beautiful pattern. What's even better is you can exchange the minecarts for villagers and terrorize them. Lava and dripstone is a deadly combo in Minecraft. If you place lava on top of a dripstone block, it'll make lava slowly drip down. You can set up a glass chamber with a few lava dripstone blocks to literally rain fire on those annoying hostile mobs. If you have a ton of enemies outside, you'll need something that shoots quickly. By placing redstone torches, redstone, and dispensers like this, you create a rapid fire turret. Anything can be put in here from arrows to fire charges to fireworks. This contraption is special because you can extend it horizontally as much as you want. You can rain arrows on mobs. Most of the time, arrows do damage, but if you use healing arrows, you can rain down at your enemies forever. This way, the mob will feel the pain without dying. To make it last for such a long time, you can fill the dispensers to the brim with double chests and hoppers for extra backup. Then use healing arrows to rain pain onto your enemies forever without them dying. How do you get the uncraftable potion? You probably have seen it once or twice in the achievement menu, but what about getting the actual item? One way is by just giving yourself a potion. But if you don't want to be a cheater, just go to the 3D Shareware update and you'll find the uncraftable potion in one of the barrels. Minecraft crops grow grows super slowly, but with this trick you can speed it up. If you plant different crops in alternating rows, it'll quicken the growing process. You can see the difference best when the different crop farming types are side by side. Fish out of water flop a lot. If you put them on top of slime blocks, they'll start bouncing super high because of it. This also happens to Guardians, where they bounce exponentially higher each time. Most people think it's impossible to beat super flat. All you get is a flat grass world, but contrary to popular belief, you can actually defeat the Ender Dragon. To get blaze rods, lava can be found at blacksmith villages to create an obsidian and a nether portal. Then Eyes of Ender can be used to find the stronghold, which is for some reason floating in the air. Just have to go over here. If you're trying to make a cobblestone generator and keep messing up, just use a mangrove root. When you put water in roots, it acts like a container. This way you can easily create a cobblestone generator. By dispensing diamonds at the wall of honey, they'll fall down in slow motion. Diamonds can then be routed back up the coppers, so the items will break down forever. Just watch out for pesky thieves. Hey, those are mine! Dolphins are also acrobats. If you trap them in a small body of water, they can actually jump from one body of water to another. When ghasts were initially added, they shot burning snowballs that were extremely deadly. After that, there was also a bug where the ghast could shoot flaming diamond helmets. Snowballs don't damage most mobs, making them amazing for annoying mobs. In this case, you can build a small room where the zombie will never be able to reach the golems. The zombies will be whacked in the head with snowballs and unable to stop it. Or you can just trap a zombie and surround it with snow golems. It'll be bombed from all sides. If you create a copper-only world and increase your random tick speed, all the copper blocks around you will oxidize super quickly. At the edge of your world, you'll even see an oxidized copper spreading like a virus to normal copper. The gradient looks pretty. Did you know that Deep Dark was initially going to be underwater? According to the original roadmap for the update, underwater lights, floating
Yes.
and even ghost blocks were in the works. However, since this didn't match the creepy theme of the Warden, it was never implemented. This next defense is unstoppable because Guardians have 100% accuracy and can be perched on top of towers like this to create Tesla beams. Anyone who comes nearby will be shot down. Another way to create a great attack tower is the Warden. By using bubble beams, you can actually bring the Warden to
I'm gonna
the
say
surface
it.
and trap
Yes,
them
I have
in attack
Discord.
towers where they'll shoot the most overpowered Sonic build. This is the Pillager Freezer. It uses pistons to surround this Ravager in powdered snow, causing it to freeze. Just before it begins to take damage, the cold is released only to start back up again shortly. You can even see it shivering inside the powdered snow. Maybe it'll be nice to the villagers now. No, Endermen get furious when you look at their eyes. However, if you accidentally lock eyes with them, don't look away. As long as you keep staring at their eyes, they won't move. It's been 3 days. Hell, winter cheaters. Outside of water, they'll take almost no knockback. Too bad their weakness is air. This new arrow existed in the game for only 2 days. The Arrow of Luck was a reward item from Fletcher villagers. Using the arrow would grant the villagers the luck effect, which would make it so you got better loot for fishing. Too bad you can't get this arrow in survival anymore. Minecraft likes to reuse a lot of textures, but did you know the respawn anchor was actually reusing something as well? The respawn anchor sound is actually just the nether portal sound, reversed. In Bedrock Edition, you're able to leash boats, so if you put 2 villagers in a boat and then tie it to a fence post, they'll start bouncing up and down. These villagers probably aren't having very much fun, but it's interesting to look at. I bet! Take a close look at the hotbar, and you'll realize that the boxes and sand textures that are transparent. Mojang is very good at reusing textures. You can take Sculpt Waves 3-dimensional. Just create a giant cube of Sculpt sensors, set iron trapdoors along the outside, and just drop an item. It'll create amazing 3D waves all across the cube. The sounds of the trapdoors closing are so nice. Villagers love to sleep at night, but if you ring a bell, they'll get back up immediately. To prevent the villagers from sleeping, you can make this build with an observer and a bell that will not let the villagers sleep. Looks like the villager has to get back to work. Water normally extinguishes fire, right? Well, most of the time, because you can shoot fire charges straight into bubble columns, and the fire charges will just float in the water. How is this even allowed? Occasionally, piglins will try to hunt down hoglins, but most people don't know their secret ability. Piglins have a small chance to celebrate and dance after successfully hunting down a hoglin. You can also run this command, and you'll start dancing too. Mining fatigue is the worst, so when sailing over oceans, watch out for monuments, because even briefly floating over them can give you mining fatigue. It's impossible to put both Infinity and Mending on a bow, because the developers thought it'd be too overpowered. However, from versions 1.9 to 1.11, it was actually still possible. If you applied Mending on your bow at this time, you'd have an illegal bow. You can fly faster or slower in spectator mode by scrolling. By scrolling up or down your hotbar, you can adjust the flying speed to as fast as 87 blocks per per second, or as slow as practically not moving. There's a color in Minecraft that is everywhere, but almost no one has noticed. Look at Ocean Monuments, Guardians, the Warden, and even Soul Energy. What do you think all of them have in common? It's the cyan color. Could this have something to do with Minecraft's ancient war? Goatskin Part 4? Turns out, every once in a while, goats will jump and can easily cross 4-block gaps. But what's even more satisfying is that you can build an entire grid of goats, and by running this command, the goats will all jump across. Keep jumping. Forest trees normally stop growing after a certain height, but using commands, you can replace the chorus flowers with new seeds, and the chorus tree will keep growing. Keep doing this until the chorus tree is huge, and breaking the bottom stem will collapse the entire structure. In the realistic physics mod, the breaking looks pretty realistic. Most people don't know this, but rabbits can actually eat crops. I don't mean handing the rabbit over some carrots, but if you leave your crops out in the open, rabbits can just walk over to it and munch it down. Foxes can also do this with berry bushes. If you're looking for a natural defense, you need bamboo with berry bushes. The bamboo will create a beautiful barricade, stopping mobs from entering, and the berry bushes will spike the mobs. This combination is surprisingly great at stopping mobs, while players can still slip around the tight bamboo gaps. This is a mob launcher. You can build it with just a few pistons, redstone, and slime blocks. To activate, just press this button, and anything can be launched from zombies, witches, or even charged creepers. Have you ever tried sleeping underwater? Because it's actually possible. If you swim down to the bottom of the nearest ocean and place your bed, you'll be able to get a good night's rest, while all the floating mobs can't touch you. If you trap a creeper in a boat and spin it at super speeds, the creeper will actually be dizzy. Its head will spin every so often and snap around, even though the boat is still. It also works with villagers and other mobs, so you can make them all get sick from spinning. But that's not nearly as bad as using this contraption. It'll be a bit expensive, but if you fill the dispensers with harming and healing potions, you can alternate them, making the mobs take damage but never die. If you kill a chicken and its corpse falls off a cliff, the corpse will slowly fall and keep on flapping its wings. And I hope you didn't know this one. This machine scans your build and turns it into a particle hologram. It works by using a lot of command blocks and scanning all blocks in the selection region. Once your build is ready, just flick this lever and your creation will be turned to particles. This is so cool. If you throw a potion at a creeper and it explodes, a lingering potion will be left behind. Just a small sacrifice for sharing the potion. Ooh, creepers love to explode, but with this machine, you won't let them. Lead a creeper in the spot, and when it tries to explode, the trapdoor will get in the way and cancel the explosion. This machine makes me nervous, but it's also so satisfying. Gravel can be super annoying when mining. However, you place a torch underneath, the gravel will all just turn into items. Wait, how is this still going? The Warden is way too powerful, but it has one weakness: sound. Therefore, if we want to bother it, we simply place some blocks with pressure plates and bells on top for it to walk to work. Once it reaches the end, it'll loop back around. Or with just some pistons and redstone, you can make the Warden go side to side without stopping, following the sound of the pistons. Is it possible to ride baby animals? Psych! When baby pigs were first added to Minecraft, you could saddle them up and ride on top. Move quicker! Okay, I see why this was removed. Beds can hide a secret entrance. Well, if you place blocks all around the bed except one spot, you'll spawn there when exiting the bed. Knowing this, you can place a bed in a secret corner, and by exiting it, you'll be in your secret stash. Endermen don't take projectile damage. They'll teleport out of the way if you try to snowball or throw them. Even if they have nowhere to teleport, the projectile will just hover on top of them. However, a projectile that can hit them is the dripstone. I finally got you! In Snapshot 15W30,
Would you look at that?
It's
It's day 61.
Usually to respawn the Ender Dragon, you have to use end crystals, which makes sense. But in this snapshot, you can just build a clay creeper face, and the Ender Dragon would respawn. I wonder who coded that. When you bone meal the grass, it may look like the flowers.
Okay, in this version,
But they're not. Flowers in Minecraft generate in patterns and can be.
I dare if they did not remove this.
This looks trippy. Minecraft had a secret.
Nothing happened! Would you look at that? This cheat code has been removed!
In this version, items stacked up to 99. Mobs spawn with blade armor, and pigs drop mushrooms. But if you don't want to burn down the house, you can also do the exact opposite with a water house. This base will fire out water at all sides of your base, so no mobs can enter. It's an extremely simple design, but very effective. Are you kidding me? If you don't want this to happen, there's an amazing trick you can do to make your chest invincible. Just waterlog them, and even if you set off 1,000,000 explosions, your loot is going nowhere. Piglins go crazy for gold, and will even attack attack you if you're not wearing any. To torture them, set up a machine that drops gold. And as soon as the piglin runs toward it, the gold gets shoved into lava. Once the piglin sadly walks away, gold is dispensed again. The ultimate betrayal after getting their hopes up. Boats are meant for water, but I personally prefer them on top of cows. Boats are able to travel on top of entities. So by gathering a bunch of cows together and riding a boat on top, you'll be able to ride them like a wave. Just remember to hold out a piece of wheat, or they'll all leave you behind. You can make a Five Nights at Freddy's head in survival. A leather helmet on an armor stand is used as the mount. Chest plates for years. A wither skull is set on the top of the head, and lastly, a brown wool block is squished in. Scary. Glow sticks are only in the Education Edition, right? Not exactly, because on Bedrock version 1.17, if you went to a woodland mansion and found a fake portal room, you'll find something super secret inside the chest. For some reason, there will be an illegal glow stick here. In the earliest versions of the game, skeletons had a small chance to drop a quiver. This allowed you to shoot arrows without wasting arrows. However, this item was soon removed, and the Infinity Enchantment was added to the same effect. Before the 1.9 update, there were 30 unusual ships, some of which were Foul Potion, Bin Potion, and Sparkling Potion. They had no effect and appeared to be retextures of other potions. I think they were added still. Imagine drinking a sticky potion. You can never unlearn this. The Void World Super Flat preset spawns a stone platform centered at 8 rather than 0. 0, so the stone platform is off-center. My life is ruined. By placing a bunch of doors and pressure plates, you can create a labyrinth that is super annoying to get through. When players see this, they'll probably just turn back around. The old end portal frames were illegal. In a 1.9 snapshot, end portals used to look like broken blue blocks. The block emitted a light level of 15, and what's stranger is that they could be dropped as an item due to explosions. The item form of the end portal was a flat texture and had no name. You can climb up to 4-block tall pointed dripstone blocks. This is an ultra efficient staircase. If you name a Vindicator Johnny, it goes crazy and attacks any nearby mob. But it's actually pretty useful. You can use this crazy Vindicator to attack animals and create a passive mob farm. Striders need to touch lava and it will turn gray and take damage after a while. We can torture it thanks to this machine. A timer will make it so just enough lava to keep the Strider alive. The Strider will be constantly shivering for the rest of its life and getting occasional warmth. When texture files are missing, this strange update block...
Bro, why is there cave noises?
Bedrock Edition, you could place it with the /set block unknown command. Although the block looks like dirt, shovels were ineffective against the block. Did you know that Deep Slate was supposed to be named something else? Originally, Deep Slate was meant to be Brimstone, but Mojang decided that Grim sounded too negative. Yeah, okay, Mojang. The Nether portal can't be lit in the edge, which makes sense. But if you cheat in a Nether portal block, then it'll work. However, when you enter back through the portal, you'll be sent back to the overworld. Check out this painting. The skull isn't the interesting part, but the world behind it. Seed hunters were able to find the exact world using the clouds, and Flower Steam in a clearer screenshot of the painting. Villagers will love to kill villagers, but they actually have a wholesome side. Villagers will avoid killing the babies. You're safe today. Oh, I'm sorry. Creepers are the worst, but they have one huge fear: cats. By executing the command, it's possible to tie all nearby cats to a single creeper. This will make it spend its entire life running. And if you don't want to use commands, you can create a simple maze like this, where cats will be at every corner. You can also make the creeper just run side to side, which looks very funny. What's the smallest biome in Minecraft? Normally biomes are huge, spanning many chunks, but there was a bug in version 1.16 that would generate a 5-block beach biome in the middle of a lanes biome. Looks like there won't be any parties here. This is a gravity block duper. It worked on older versions of Bedrock Edition. If you send blocks like sand or gravel through it, it'll convert to any random item. So if you leave it on for a while, you'll eventually get items like the border block, fire block, bedrock, jigsaw, and light block, all from survival mode. When you write on signs, the letters are actually floating in the air. You can see it best by using a spyglass to zoom into the signs. Want the ultimate escape route?
Finally.
Bring some leather boots and...
I'll go bathroom break.
Now, if anyone tries to pass this wall, they'll freeze to death. But if you wear your trusty leather boots, you can scale the entire wall like a pro. Most people know that iron golems sink to the bottom of the ocean because they're so heavy. But did you know they'll never drown? This'll make them stay stuck in the deep seas for the rest of their lives. Iron golems have another superpower. They also don't take any fall damage. So you can launch them off a mountain and they'll be perfectly fine. Bears are able to shapeshift to create smooth corners, but it can also be used for wall staircases that perfectly blend right back into the wall. On version 1.18, 1.18.1. Putting horses on top of turtle eggs will make them spin in circles. I have no idea why this happens, but I guess horses just love to dance. With the scale attribute in 1.20.5, you can shrink yourself to become smaller than a button. Now you can live in tiny homes, under cauldrons, under beds, or in between stairs. This just made hide and seek way more fun. By placing some trapdoors and redstones, you can make a lava bridge. If anyone is trying to chase you from behind, just flick the switch and send them falling. This Reddit user created a working Rubik's Cube out of particles in Minecraft. It can be fully played, and the cube can even be rotated. Something equally impressive is this cube map that can be fully played by hitting these buttons. The Rubik's Cube even animates while turning. You can turn dirt into emeralds. First turn that dirt into mud using a water bottle. Next dry it out using dripstone. And finally, you can mine that clay and trade it for some emeralds or a stone mason. Maybe not the quickest way, but still a cool trick. Boats travel
I'm back.
on ice. Some players have made dedicated ice boating tracks where you can ride across to the finish line. There are all kinds of tracks like soaring through mountains, underground caves, and even a rainbow road. It's super satisfying to drift across the ice. Minecraft dogs are super weak, so this developer decided to give them a slight buff with a data pack. Just throw an enchanted golden apple to supercharge your dog, and it'll slice through all your enemies. Just a slight buff, nothing too overpowered. When Silk Touch was first added, using it on a spawner would actually work. Finding something like a zombie spawner would make the item drop, but when you placed it back down, something strange would happen. The spawner data will reset and would just turn into a pig spawner. Stop making sounds. Sometimes parrots make a bit too much noise, so you can silence them by giving them a yummy treat. Just toss them over a cookie, and it'll stop making sounds, and also be poised. If an Enderman is given invisibility, their eyes are still visible. The same goes for the spider's eyes and the blaze of smoke. So what happens if you light an end portal with bedrock inside it? Lighting end portals normally deletes all blocks inside, but bedrock is special and should be impossible to break. Well, it turns out the end portal is stronger and destroys the bedrock. If you enchant your crossbow with piercing level 127, you can shoot through a ton of mobs. Just spawn a bunch of snow golems in a line, aim the bow straight, and slice through them all. If you try to break suspicious sand, it'll just turn into air. Even if you try to move it with a piston, the suspicious sand will drop no items. There is one way to get it though. If you place a bubble beam and let the sand fall onto it, the suspicious sand will eventually drop as an item. Before furnaces were added to the game, how did players smell ores? To smell, it was actually pretty cool. Players just threw the ores at the ground and lit them on fire. That's way quicker than furnaces. I wish that still existed. When end ships were first added, you could find a handwritten book written by one of the developers, Surge. The book said, "We will have something else here soon," which is true since the Elytra replaced it in the following update. Heal up already! Zombie villagers can sometimes take forever to heal, but placing iron bars and beds nearby actually speeds up the process. Up to 14 iron bars or beds can be placed near the zombie villager, and it'll increase the curing speed by a whopping 4.2%. Okay, that's pretty useless. There are 8 different goat horns in Minecraft, but another 8 were actually removed. In a 1.19 snapshot, goat horns could be combined with copper to create a completely unique horn. Unfortunately, this horn was removed and forgotten. Good luck trapping snow golems. Snow golems in Minecraft will actively try to leave any confined space they are in. They check for exits every few seconds and walk out. Too bad villagers aren't that smart. Rabbits move by jumping up and down. However, when you put them on top of slime blocks, they become stuck. They can't move at all. Even if a fox comes for lunch, water changes color depending on the biome. But in Bedrock Edition, it gets even stranger. If you can glitch water in the Nether, it'll be red. Wolves hate rabbits. They'll actively try to hunt them down and won't even eat the food. For maximum suffering, set up a flowing water stream so the bunny constantly has to swim away, but can never escape. Wolf also can never kill it. Double torture. Baby mobs are very attached to their parents. They will constantly try to follow them, which is very cute. But if you're looking for a good torture method, it's perfect. The machine makes it so the baby pig is constantly trying to go to the parents, but gets pushed back. Yeah, it'd be an evil villain to use this. TNT is extremely dangerous because it can destroy your entire build, but if you put a falling anvil on top of the prime TNT, the TNT will explode inside the anvil, and no blocks will break. The amplified world type in Minecraft creates massive terrain, but most people don't know it was created by accident when Jeb entered incorrect numbers into the world generation code. There were 4 types of protection, but you can only apply 1 type per armor piece. This means
Would you look at that?
fire protection and
My crops will be not ruined.
1.14.2. This wasn't
Like-
the case. There was a bug.
Oh, like OMG.
Ultimate armor. You'll be way stronger with this armor. If you place a lot of enchanting tables, the books will all follow you around. Looking at the tables from above, you can see a nice pattern. If you rename a chest in an anvil, something really cool happens. The inventory inside will be labeled. You can also rename a command block with an anvil, and it'll output from the respective name. Donkeys are awesome for carrying loot, but they're too slow compared to horses. But there's a way to get both storage and speed. By feeding a tamed horse and tamed donkey a golden carrot, you breed them and get the mule. This mob doesn't spawn naturally and must be bred. The mule speed is between the donkey and horse, and it can have storage. A great way to make sure mobs can't enter your base is by using alternate fence types. Mobs won't be able to get through, but you'll be able to just walk around. This enchanted sign actually existed, and it has a load of illegal enchantments. These signs appeared in the Minecraft 2.0 April Fool's update, where some zombie pigmen held enchanted battle signs instead of gold swords.
It doesn't work.
Small chance to drop battle signs. Different pigmans had different battle signs with unique enchants, so you can collect all different types. The Lily of the Valley flower is very special. It's an optical illusion that looks the same from all angles. It's like the flower is always watching you. Piggling bartering is super overpowered, but it's so slow. Luckily, Bedrock Edition Pros found a way to speed it up by 100 times. All you need to do is grab a sticky piston and a gold block, and hook it up to a super fast block. Then when you drop the gold, the Pigling will pick a piece of gold up every time the block moves, giving you supercharged trading. Finally, infinite grabble. Just what I've always wanted. This item has a secret ability. You may know that you can use fishing rods on mobs like pigs and zombies, but it also works on non-mobs. You can reel in things like shulker bullets, time TNT, anvils, and even the dragon egg. Okay, Minecraft is not very realistic. Do you see the base? Well, it's actually in this water barrel. If you surround it with the other decorations, it'll blend right into the background. To enter, just right-click the trapdoor under the barrel and close it on your way down. No one is fighting your base here. If you break a mob skull, for some, the same texture as breaking soul sand particles come out. It's almost like the mob's soul is trying to come out. See? The only way to get barriers is in creative mode. Psych! There's a secret way to get them. Bastions were first added in the 20W16A snapshot, and a barrier block was accidentally placed. So if you went to this exact spot in the bastion and created a dispenser setup, you could switch to the one block at a time update and pick up the barrier. Then just update your world, and you'll have the barrier on your head. But something even cooler are snow golems. They can actually be stacked on top of each other. When hostile creatures come nearby, they'll rapid fire them, giving us a snowball machine gun. They won't do damage, but they are amazing to knock mobs far away from your house. This is a disappearing item. For some reason, shulker boxes don't render unless you get close to them. Knowing this, you can build entire sky islands out of shulker boxes that appear only as you get close to it. The island would be invisible to everyone except those who know where it is. Blazes constantly shoot fireballs, which make them amazing for defending your base. You can set them around your house as turrets, and they'll light anyone who comes nearby on fire. If getting blazes is too hard, you can easily replace the blazes with skeletons and place lava in front of them, making them shoot flaming arrows to all intruders. To throw items through blocks, just throw it at a patch block, because patch blocks are slightly smaller than a full block, and hoppers underneath can actually pick them up. This also works with other smaller blocks like soul sand and farmland. When a zombie tries to enter this house, it instantly starts to take damage. This is because beneath the trapdoors are magma blocks that burn the zombies alive. You can place other blocks on top of the magma block, like carpets and moss blocks, to camouflage it. Dolphins are extremely intelligent. If you feed it a fish, the dolphin will show you to the nearest treasure to thank you. So nice! Why were cakes added to Minecraft? You may think it was for celebrating birthdays, but that's not it. They were actually added because Minecraft won the Indie Game of the Year award in 2010. There is one place the trap chest can generate naturally in Minecraft. You may think they are found in desert pyramids or even jungle temples, but that's not it. The only time trap chests generate naturally is in the Faken portal room in Woodland Mansions. In 1.20.2, you can now put up to 64 items inside decorated pots. Only one type of item can be put in at a time. And when you're done, you can crack open the pot with an arrow. A single bucket of water can hold enough water to flood the entire world. Placing water at the top of a large lava pathway will turn all the lava to obsidian. Just a single bucket of water is able to do all this. Rabbits used to be way cooler than what we have now. Today, rabbits are boring and are just a food source. Like back when they were first introduced, you could hold out a carrot and tame the actual rabbit. That's right, you could have rabbits as pets in early versions, and they'd even teleport to you. You could even breed entire armies of rabbits. I need them back. You can actually send redstone signals through leaves. When wood gets attached to leaves, it actually updates the data. This is especially useful for sending signals upwards. This can also be done with walls, because pushing a block to the side will update all the walls beneath instantly. This crossbow takes 70 years to reload. That's because the reload time starts going in reverse with any quick charge enchantment above level 5. And this crossbow is enchanted with quick charge level 6. Good luck trying to shoot me, pillager. What's the best wood in Minecraft? You probably think it's something like oak.
Hey.
But it's not even close. The best wood is actually bamboo, because it has an amazing ability. Bamboo can be completely automatically farmed with just a piston and observer, while other wood farms need to abuse TNT duping to destroy the wood, and thousands of bone meal to grow the sapling. Most people think there's only one stronghold in the entire Minecraft world, but there are actually way more. And it's not
It's
just
Nick,
a stronghold,
which means you're a fan of Nickelodeon.
that generate in each world.
Hey you, the Nick fan. Are you the fan of Nickelodeon?
Normal cobblestone generator, but placing redstone dust where the cobblestone would form. I can see why the strange bug was patched. It is possible to get your head through commands, so you can make a doll that tricks players into thinking you're home. Any thieves looking from afar will instantly turn back thinking that you're still there. Did you know armor stands get drowned? If you put an armor stand underwater, eventually bubble particles will start coming out, showing it's drowning. I guess that means armor stands are living. Tridents with the channeling enchantment strike lightning whenever it lands on a mob or lightning rod. Using this feature, channeling tridents can be placed on top of end rods and bounced up and down to create a lightning generator. You can then surround your entire base with these. Good luck to anyone trying to break in. Check out this new block. If we correctly angle ourselves, this tunnel looks
Oh hey, I'm Cypher.
but flying around it, we can clearly see the tunnel. Using this illusion perspective, we can also create tiny diamond blocks like this. Cute. How do you get mob heads in Minecraft? Wither skeleton skulls are the easiest and are obtained just by killing them. You can get zombie piglin, creeper, or skeleton skulls by having a charged creeper explode them. And dragon heads can be found on pirate ships in the End Islands. I wonder how that got there. Weighted pressure plates can be held down by item frames. If you place an item frame and then a pressure plate, nothing will happen at first. But if you walk over it, the pressure plate will stay down. Sand normally falls down, but if you place them on torches, they'll float. You can stack them up really high. And once you have a pattern you're satisfied with, just break the bottom torch and watch it all crumble down. Hoglins can be very annoying to kill, but good thing they're terrified of warp fungi.
What is StreamYard? What is StreamYard?
Surrounded by warp fungi. This is what you get for hitting me. Minecraft's textures are iconic because they're so simple, but you can completely change that. In Bedrock Edition, photorealistic maps were created using custom models from real life, and it's sometimes hard to even tell you're in Minecraft, but seeing these realistic corridors with Minecraft mobs looks pretty cursed. Water is impossible to place in the nether in newer versions of Minecraft. Psych, just bring a cauldron to the nether and place some water, or if you catch on fire, just splash yourself with a water bottle. The most classic way to protect your base is just by using 2 dirt blocks. To enter and exit, break 2 dirt blocks into the side of the world, and almost no one will be.
Oh yeah, the Nick fan, you're just a logo editing. You're just a logo editor. I am streaming Minecraft right now.
But for some reason, if you throw it at a cactus, the items just get destroyed. My netherite! This will scare your dogs for sure. Lava will fall towards your dogs, but it will always stop just before burning your dogs. To make this, you just need a simple clock using repeaters, but make sure to set the timings right, or whoops! Pandas are one of the cutest mobs in Minecraft, and I'll never hurt them. Psych! The worried panda type whimpers in fear whenever there's a lightning storm. When it cries, you can break any roof on top of the panda, or even just throw a channeling trident at it. Too bad this only works on Bedrock Edition. Slimes love to bounce around, almost too much. Punish them for their sins, you can turn them into volleyballs using iron golems. Just place 2 big golems like this, and they'll smack that slime back and forth forever. It's an epic automatic volleyball minigame. Try it on your friends too. Vindicators hate villagers. Doing this, we can lock a villager in a minecart and spawn a vindicator in the middle. This will cause a wild goose chase that will go on forever. Something very satisfying are automatic farms, because they'll work forever without you. This melon farm is super satisfying to watch. As the pistons break the melons, items flow down. Creating staircases wastes a lot of blocks, but if you're low on them, you can use torches to help build upwards. And by recycling the torches, you can create a really long staircase. You can actually walk a crop on any block, and as long as you don't update it, the crop will actually grow. This means you can grow carrots on anything, like on top of bedrock, or even netherrack. A classic way to torture the Enderman is with rain. In spectator mode, you can click on the Enderman to see its perspective. Each time it rains, they have to teleport all around the world to find a safe route. Boxes can actually get get stuck in the snow. When foxes leap into the air to attack chickens, they won't always hit their target. Sometimes when they miss, their heads will be buried in snow, and they'll have to wiggle their feet to get out. This is the most broken seed in all of Minecraft. It causes everything to repeat forever. The trees and islands, glaciers, ravines, it happens on Java 1.15.1 on this sea. Using ender pearls, you can teleport through walls, so always make them 2 blocks thick or make sure to trap the other side if you don't want players sneaking through. Will a totem of undying work on your head? If you use commands to put a totem on your head and die, it unfortunately won't work. The totem only activates if it's in one of your hand slots. Campfires are great for smoke signals, but you can make them even better.
Oh.
Double their height, simply place a hay bale under
It's
the smoke.
day
You can use the smoke to combine
62.
techniques. This Minecraft seed has a mushroom island surrounded by every overworld biome in the game. You can find nearby villages, the deep dark deserts. Just looking around from the center is insane. When you meet an Enderman, you're probably used to his purple eyes and black smoke that it emits. But the Enderman
No,
actually
I'm not doing this.
screaming ghosts.
You're a logo editor.
Most people don't know that goats also attack armor stands. So we can set up a barrier preventing the goat from knocking the armor stand off, and it'll keep trying for the rest of its life. It'll even scream in frustration. In Bedrock Edition, there are unused texture files named Hoglin Meat Raw and Hoglin Meat Cooked. They're textured identically to raw and cooked beef. Maybe they were originally supposed to drop a new type of meat, but a much sneakier way to defend your base is by using sand. Normally sand will fall down, but you can place a bunch on top of connected signs above a large hole. So when a player tries
I don't
break
care.
a single sign, and the entire sand floor will come crashing down. Wolves can't teleport to you if there is no safe space to teleport to. But if you are completely surrounded in glass blocks, the wolf has a superpower and can teleport straight into it because it's a transparent block. And that looks painful. Did you know it's impossible to breed polar bears? It's one of the few animals that can't be bred, so you can only find cubs naturally in the world. You also can't breed dolphins, which is quite a shame because I would love a dolphin army. Don't go near igloos. Well, at least with the bad omen effect, because some igloos can be detected as villages. This can happen if you hear the zombie villagers beneath the igloo. Ah, I don't have any items. Stop using the crafting table, at least to craft stone stairs, because you end up wasting so much stone. It takes 6 stones to craft 4 stairs with the crafting table, but you can craft a stair with just 1 stone using the stone cutter. To prevent players from destroying your security house, use this. Elder Guardians give mining fatigue to all players in a 50-block radius, so anyone trying to destroy your beautiful builds won't have a very good time. Well, unless they have TNT. Gosh darn it, give me a better trade. If your villagers aren't giving you good deals, you can give them a nice shake-up. A simple looping machine like this one with ice and pistons in each corner will do the trick. Just place a pressure plate, redstone repeaters, a piston, and slime block to create the ultimate setup. The villager can never get out, and it'll be super fun to watch. Minecraft used to generate 2 blocks tall obsidian walls around spawn. The walls would intersect at the center of the world, and were added for experimental purposes before coordinates were added. Tridents with loyalty will always come back. However, if your inventory is full, the trident will just spin around you. To take it even further, you can do this with a bunch of tridents to become the Trident Master. When you hoe a dirt block, it turns into farmland. But have you ever wanted that item? If you try to pick it up, it'll just turn back into dirt. Silk Touch won't even work on it. So how do you get it? Well, you have to go to the 1 block at a time update, grab the farmland, and then chuck it on your head. When you transfer the world to the latest version, you have the item. Something pretty satisfying is that a button perfectly fits on a dropper's mouth. This is perfect. This is the Mob Scarer 3000. Arrows will come out of the dispenser, but none will connect. It is perfectly timed to shoot arrows at the mob, but block it at the last second with a piston. This can be applied to various mobs, so use your imagination. Wandering traders always drink invisibility potions at night, but if you kill it mid-drink, there is an 8.5% chance that the potion will drop it. Give me that. If you place string on top of lava, for some reason, it won't make any sound. This way you can prank your friends and lead them to lava. Did you know the top of a desert temple can perfectly fit a fully powered beacon? Fitting a max beacon inside is so satisfying. Skeletons are a dangerous mob because they have aimbot. But did you know a skeleton can actually shoot itself? And no, I don't mean a skeleton shooting another skeleton. If a skeleton aims directly vertical, the arrow will fly into the sky and land right down on itself. How tragic. There used to be a secret Easter egg hidden inside the beacon. If you took a look at the texture file for the beacon beam, you could find map icons hidden inside of it. How strange is that? Note blocks can play different instruments. To do so, just change the block underneath it. Wood creates a string bass, sand creates snare drum, glass creates clicks, and clay creates flute sounds. These are all the different options. Did you know that to find a brown mushroom, a red mushroom needs to be struck by lightning, which is a very rare event. But another way of encountering a brown mushroom is by breeding it. But there's only a 1 in 1024 chance for the baby mushroom to be brown. Minecraft almost had lore. Back in 2014, Dinnerbone created something called the Ultimate Land. This would include the entire game's story and would involve the dragon egg and endermites. But when he tweeted about it, he mentioned he hasn't discussed it with the team yet, so it probably got rejected. Piglins have enemies. Wither skeletons and piglins both actively try to attack and kill each other, but baby piglins aren't as brave and will run away both wither skeletons and withers. By placing 2 honey blocks side by side, there's actually a small gap you can shoot arrows through. If you don't have honey blocks, this can also be done with just a pot next to a block and shooting through the sides of that. Villagers can be very smart. They calculate the perfect paths to escape zombies, but you can also use this against them. By creating a pathway in the sky, the villagers will try to run away from the zombies, but will be stuck in a loop. You can make all sorts of pathways to make the villagers go crazy. Piglins are super scared of this. When you place down a blue lantern, the piglin will scurry away. You can use a piston to open and close the light from either side of a wall, making the piglin run in fear side to side. Better give me ender pearl next time. When Sculpt breaks down and drops some experience orbs. To break it instantly, use an efficiency 5.0, and you'll be able to shred through it all and experience these satisfying sounds. There's a way to teleport thousands of blocks in survival. If you block a Ravager's attack with a shield, the Ravager will power up and knock all enemies back. Using this mechanic, players can travel thousands of blocks almost instantly. Alex and Steve can change height in Bedrock Edition. Just go into the character creator where you can select the smallest height. This seems overpowered in PvP. Minecraft's beacon texture has changed 4 times. It first just looked like a glass block and had a fuzzy beam. Then a weird rotating crystal was added inside. Next, it was changed to a diamond glass box and had a jagged beam. Finally, it was changed to the beautiful beacons we have today. By filling up walls with lava and surrounding them with water, you'll create regenerating walls. This will make it so everyone trying to mine through will have a very difficult time, because the cobblestone walls will just keep on healing. But this is the meanest way to trap villagers. By placing a honey block and then a cauldron on top, any villager inside of it will be stuck for all eternity. Well, until you let them go. You probably know jumping and attacking will deal a critical hit. But did you know bows can deal critical hits too? To do a critical shot, you don't jump and shoot a bow, but instead, if you fully charge your bow, it makes the arrow have a 25% chance of doing a critical shot and doing extra damage. So that's just another reason to fully charge your bow back instead of bow spamming. And crystals make amazing defense because they explode instantly. You can set up the ultimate defense by aiming dispensers with snowballs at the end crystals. And whenever trespassers come by, flip the switch. What if projectiles could bounce off slime blocks? Well, this mod makes it work. You can bounce arrows around corners or even throw ender pearls against walls. But what I love most is bouncing snowballs off close walls. They'll bounce back and forth rapidly. You can also toss a lot of potions to create these amazing curves. When you enter water, your FOV is actually lowered by 10. This is done to simulate
I hope this video will not get copyrighted at all. I don't have ADHD.
Here we go.
I got sent into the nether portal to the other side. I'm very confused. Hey, sorry, Fast 9. Yeah, and I'm not going to speak Polish in this live. I think I don't have you. But what? 63. Ah. Damn it! Yeah, I don't have you here. You're here. When it reaches 6 p.m., I will make this stream end, which is about 12 minutes. But that does not make sense. So I'll increase it and I'll stop live. So I'll stop streaming at 6:15 p.m. Or more importantly, I'll going to make it 6:10 p.m. So, I'll make it 1 minute and 57 minutes now. I'll make it now 50. So. Let's make that 6:15. I'll make this poll so at 6 p.m. I will stop streaming. Or 6:15 p.m. I'll stop streaming. 6 p. I'll end the poll at 6 p.m.
Most underrated structure, bonus chest. The bonus chest is easily the most underrated structure in all of Minecraft. And I know that's a hot take because technically it barely even counts as one. But hear me out. When you're creating a new world, there's a little toggle that most people just leave on without thinking about it. And what it does is place a single chest right next to your spawn point, surrounded by a few torches. Inside you'll find basic tools, some food, a bit of wood. Nothing crazy, just enough to take the edge off that first night. And yeah, I always turn it on, every single time. The chest was added back in Java 1.3.1 and has been a quiet little staple ever since, with Bedrock actually being more generous with what it puts inside. It's disabled in hardcore, which honestly makes sense, and on servers you can toggle it with a simple flag. Sometimes the torches float in midair depending on the terrain underneath, which is kind of a bug, kind of charming, and very on brand for early Minecraft generation. It doesn't come with lore, there's no mystery behind it, no ancient civilization that left it there. It's just the game being nice to you for once. And in a game that will eventually throw pillagers, evokers, and the entirety of the Nether at you, that's actually worth appreciating. It's a small thing. But Minecraft's always been about the small things. Desert Well. The Desert Well is one of those structures you walk past 100 times before you actually stop and think, wait, who built this? It's a small sandstone well sitting in the middle of the desert with a water source inside. And for most of Minecraft's history, that was basically the whole story. A well, in a desert. Cool. But then archaeology happened, and suddenly the desert well got a lot more interesting. Underneath it, you'll find suspicious sand that you can brush with a brush to uncover pottery sherds, including the Arms Up and Brewer variants, each sitting at a 25% chance. It's not a massive loot haul, but it's one of the cleanest early introductions to the brushing mechanic the game has. And the water source is genuinely useful in a biome that has absolutely none of it anywhere else. They're not super common either. In Java, there's roughly a 1 in 1,000 chunk chance of one generating. Bedrock is a bit more forgiving at 1 in 500. Sometimes you'll find a couple close together, which always looks a little funny. Honestly, the desert well doesn't demand your attention. It's quiet, it's small, and most players don't even register it. But if you've got a brush on you and a few...
every sword, Minecraft will never add. And some of these, definitely for good reason. And Tank, we're always asking you to try some new and wacky way to subscribe to the channel. Whether that's with your elbow, your tongue, or your mom. But this time, I want to hear what new way you subscribe to the channel. So take a random action of your choice to that sub button below, and let us know how you did it in the comments. It's free, and it helps out a ton. This is a coal sword. It gives blindness. That's nice.
You just poked me in the eyes.
Yeah, you actually just stabbed my eyes out. That's not cool. I guess you could do that with any sword, come to think of it. Well, it just explains the process. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a point. Oh, I love potatoes. So yeah, you literally just...
Similar to the time I collected every single mob head, I'm using a data pack called Mini Blocks to add hundreds of collectible mini blocks to the game. To get them, you take a full-size block, throw it in the stone cutter, and chop it up into pieces. But before...
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Since the dawn of time, humanity has been haunted by one question. Can you farm 10 million eggs in 100 Minecraft days? Well, let's just say the odds aren't exactly in my favor. Oh, my game's gonna break. But we'll handle those problems when we get to them. Before we get started though, let me just change into the proper suit. And now I just need the perfect seed. No, 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 no. Okay, I think this one has potential. There's a village close to the spawn, and the area around it is pretty flat. With the seed found, I harvested my first house, stole a bed, and made a pickaxe so I could harvest more of the house and make a stone axe, which meant I could begin working on my day one goals, which was going to be moving all of the villagers into one big building. And now you might be wondering, if your goal here is to collect 10 million eggs in 100 days, why are you messing with villagers right now? Shouldn't you be looking for chickens? Wouldn't you need to have 100,000 eggs on the first day to be on track? No. The thing about challenges like these is that they're all about exponential growth. I know.
Also, when the poll
but
ends, I will make
growth.
it from the time
This is a chicken.
5 minutes longer. So, for example, 16:15 p.m. I'll increase it to 6:20 to make it to make it more than 2 hours long.
Chickens will produce enough eggs to effectively double themselves. And this is what that looks like on a graph. That's billions of chickens by day 100. And we only need a few 100,000. Meaning I don't really have to worry about rushing getting chickens in these early stages. Focusing on villager trades so that I can get geared up is going to be a much better use of my time. By the first night, things were already off to a good start. I had managed to bring all of the villagers together safely, and after repurposing the wood from their houses to finish up the roof, I repurposed their food supply as well. In the morning, I killed off their freshly spawned iron golem. And speaking of iron, did I mention that I'm going to need 60,000 of it? Yeah, turns out the most difficult part about this challenge is going to be building a big enough storage system. Unlike most items, eggs only stack to 16, so we're going to need around 12,000 double chests to hold 10 million of them. Each one will also need its own hopper, and that's where all the iron comes from. So those little iron farms everyone builds, I'm going to need like 20 of them. And this is why I was focusing on villagers so early. The faster I could breed them, the sooner I'd have those iron farms up and running. I already had a few baby villagers.
6:15
but thanks to some
6:15
weirdo
p.m.
in costume,
I'll end
well,
streaming in
we had
6:20
So
p.m.
it was time to start working on a source of emeralds. That source was going to be stick trades, hence the spruce saplings. I grabbed some gravel from a nearby river and turned it into flint for the fletching tables. Then, while the villagers were asleep, I chopped down my first giant spruce tree, giving me the sticks I would need for my first few emeralds. Emeralds that I immediately gave back to the villagers to level up the toolsmith. Trading for a better axe would allow me to chop trees faster.
Yeah.
But in order to get those diamond tool trades, I was going to need
If
iron.
it's the night is going to
Pretty consistently getting
set-
iron golems to sacrifice.
if the moon is about to going to set, it's going to be day 64.
I was also going to use them in every stage of this video, from building the iron farms to collecting all the wood for the chests, and even trying not to die. Between iron golem kills, I worked on trading with a shepherd. If I could get him to like me, I'd have a long-term solution for my lack of beds. But wouldn't it be easier to find some sheep and use their wool to craft the beds? These are the kind of questions that keep me up sharing sheep on me. But really, I was going to need 60 beds for the iron farms alone, and those 10 were only going to buy me a little time. Time I used to craft up a couple lecterns and start refreshing librarian trades. Without Efficiency 5 books, this video wasn't going to be possible, so I had to start working on that as well. After leveling up the shepherd one more time, my nights of sneaking out with the sheep were over. I could now trade for everything I needed to keep the villagers busy. Following my routine tree chopping and golem slaying on day 4, I was able to level up my toolsmith and gain my first diamond tools. Not exactly what I was going for, but
I need to watch out for
I
lava.
wanted to level them up further.
So can't I use
Notice
sand?
it's my first video that I'm not
What?
putting on hardcore
Gościu,
difficulty.
zrobiłam ci
Is it
herbatę.
because I'm too scared of dying and keeping all of my progress? I just think for a challenge like this, it makes sense
Yeah.
to be able to respawn.
Why the sand doesn't burn when contacting to lava?
It's a cause I'm willing to die for. That night and into the next morning, I chopped some more trees and tried burning down one of the villages.
Now I have some
to make
problems.
room for my future
How can I get
And
back?
I'd forever sleeped enough golems to level the toolsmith again, unlocking a diamond axe trade. And by selling all the sticks I had farmed the night before, I was able to fill in the last row of beds, get some bread to keep the villagers fed, and of course buy a diamond axe. The axe was cool, but it really needed efficiency 5 before I'd be satisfied. So it made sense to do as much trade refreshing as I could during the day, and work on other stuff during the night, like chopping more wood or starting forest fires. It might not be the most applauded act, but listen, I needed some space for those iron farms.
I think I lost track.
Finally maxing out the toolsmith, I could now buy diamond pickaxes, and I spent the next 5 minutes refreshing librarian trades to no avail. That night, I killed my first slime, and worked on spawn-proofing as much of the area as possible. I might not be treating the villagers with the most respect here, but I did need them alive. With the population of my villagers increasing so quickly, it was time to start prepping the iron farms. This square I'm digging out will eventually be the holes that the iron golems spawn in, but for now, I'm going to fill it with the beds and use it to house more villagers. Once they were asleep, I used some spare beds to move them over to the farm, and after the second batch, I had all 12 in there. And I could replace the beds in the main building and keep breeding more. Using a lava pool I found on top of the mountain behind the village, I made another portal with my bucket. And went through. Practically spawning on top of the bastion. I don't think I need to explain why this was a bad idea, but I needed soul sand for the iron farms, and it definitely wasn't going to come to me. Luckily, there were no enemies waiting for me in the Soul Sand Valley, and I collected about a stack and a half before heading home. Or trying to. With my current loadout, those little piggies were a big problem. So instead of getting myself killed, I did the old bait and switch, opening up a path for me to run safely through the middle and escape through the portal. Now that I had separated the villagers into 2 groups, there were twice as many golems donating themselves to the cause, giving me the iron I needed to level up the second toolsmith. So I now had access to every diamond tool in the game. I saved up enough emeralds to buy a shovel, and this was going to make digging out the iron farms much easier. I'll leave a link to the design I'm using in the description, but it basically just combines 4 of those small iron farms into one.
Whew. I need to be careful. I need to be careful. Come on. But watch. If I jump, boom. After a round, safe. Most stupidest way is doors. But I'm keeping the door option because there's no fence gates. So you know what I'm going to do. Door. Yeah, I have no idea why doors suck. I hope we reach more than 9 subscribers increased, so I can get 200 subscribers in a few days. So let's reach that goal. Oh, it's day 64. No idea why these two are the same. I have no idea why this. The calculator will be installed directly to System 32. No idea why. The Windows Server 2016 and 2019 are similar, but for 2016 and 2019, they're just similar they are similar to an LTSC variant, but it has Internet Explorer instead of Microsoft Edge. Windows 11 has no Windows 32 calculator. Instead, you have a UVP calculator. So, I guess the Windows 7 calculator is only for Windows 10 and not Windows 11. Yeah, you know the simple thing. Opens the GNOME calendar. Calculator. How about Ubuntu Mate or Parrot OS? You get the Mate calculator. How about for KDE Neon? KDE Neon doesn't have a built-in. The reason why it's not installed is because KDE Neon does not have a calculator. If new updates come for the KDE Neon, I think they will add KDE calculator. KDE calculator, which is like the GNOME. It's like the GNOME calculator. Even when you download and install the GNOME calculator, it does nothing. To fix this, you can have a shortcut. Which is like this: GNOME-calculator. And then congratulations, you got a GNOME calculator. Kubuntu. This shortcut does not exist, even though there is Kcalc. So better should do the shortcut right away. I think custom shortcuts is like the same as KDE Neon, but
이제 본이야. Bo jest ciepło, kurwa, i nie chcę. Cicho bądź. Nie mówisz sobie na snu. A, nagrywasz dobrze.
Hey Sigma. This Google Chromecast knows that you're using a calculator. Mac. It does nothing even though it has a calculator. You can't make a shortcut out of it, so it's useless. It does nothing even though it has a calculator installed. Yeah, I think that's pretty short. 10 minutes or so. There goes Sigma 2903. Let's check how much. Yeah, and already 73 viewers had joined the Minecraft challenge for 7 parts. Why? It's because I added this in part 3. And wow, little did I know, I have 7 likes. I guess you GNOME screenshot, even though it's Unity. Well, you maybe B is kind of like GNOME. It's like the older GNOME. I'm gonna show you my secret area before I end the stream. Okay, it's 6:20 p.m. Thank you guys so much for watching for my 10th part. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next live.